the agency's largest sweep during the pandemic. It took place in July and August and focused on those with criminal convictions and charges. However, as CBS News reports, this also led to the arrests of some undocumented immigrants with clean records. It was the result of what's known as at-large arrests taking place in residences, work sites, and traffic stops across the country. For more on this, let's bring in CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez. Hi there, Camilo. What was the scope of this ICE operation and who was the agency targeting?
Hi, Elaine. This operation in July and August lasted nearly 6 weeks, and it is the largest one, as you mentioned, announced by ICE during the coronavirus pandemic. Agents from all of the agency's field offices across the country participated and made more than 2,000 so-called at-large arrests, which take place in homes, workplaces, traffic stops, like you mentioned. And the agency said it specifically targeted undocumented immigrants and others who are subject to deportation, who have some type of criminal conviction or charge related to crimes where a victim is involved. The agency said that roughly 85% of those it arrested as part of this operation have criminal charges or convictions, and the agency said the rest are undocumented immigrants who have some type of civil immigration violations. These include immigrants who were ordered deported by a judge, for example, but remained in the U.S., others who re-entered the U.S. after being previously deported, as well as those who were picked up as part of so-called collateral arrest, Elaine, which is when ICE apprehends individuals it was not targeting during an operation, but who it found were unlawfully present in the U.S. at the time of the enforcement action at a place like a home or a work setting.
Well, Camilo, you mentioned in your piece that some of those arrested had clean records. How does that line up with ICE's own policies?
That's a very important question, Elaine, because in March, ICE announced a new, quote, enforcement posture in response to the still developing coronavirus pandemic at that point in the spring. It said its agents would focus on immigrants who may pose a threat to the public and those with certain criminal convictions, sort of returning to Obama-era policies that restricted the populations that ICE could apprehend and deport. And I asked the top ICE official who oversees detention and deportations today, Henry Lucero, about this and whether the arrest of these people who have no criminal charges or convictions conforms to this enforcement posture. And he very explicitly said that that announcement in March did not mean that the agency was not going to arrest undocumented immigrants who have civil immigration violations. He said his agents have wide-ranging discretion, but that undocumented immigrants with no criminal records are still subject to enforcement.
Well, Camilo, ICE has